I'd like to begin first by thanking the Oman Insurance Association for giving us the opportunity and all the support. Mr. Eman is here with us. So with his approval and all support, we could manage to do the session on a very important topic on upcoming e-invoicing in Oman. So to begin with, a small introduction about myself. I am CA Jay Duseja, Chartered Accountant from India and having Bachelor's of Commerce. With 14 years of experience across indirect taxes in India, UAE and in Oman, and from December 2020 being in Oman, assisted various insurance companies in VAT implementation, brokers as well as till date with the compliances. So now recently after my stint at Deloitte, I started my own firm, JSR Tax Advisory in Oman and UAE with specialization only into taxes. So a short brief about myself. For more details, you can scan the QR code. So let us see what we are going to cover today. So I will divide the session from 9:30 till 11 among two parts. First is functional, which I will cover in among 40 minutes. So that some members are joining for the first time. So for them it is good to know the basics. What is e-invoicing and which are the models. And next 30 minutes we will do a live demo. We have a partner who has joined with us online, Taxila, and they will be showing us how the tool actually works for the e-invoicing. And then we will be open for the Q&A. So we will have almost 30 to 40 minutes for Q&A. So any questions you have, feel free to note it, and we will have the Q&A. And we can extend also till the time all questions are answered. And then we will break for prayer and lunch. So that will be the agenda for today. Should we start? Let's go. So first, I will cover what is e-invoicing. Can somebody describe in 2 words or a sentence? What is e-invoice? Is anyone issuing e-invoice as of now? At present? No. So e-invoice is different than the current invoice which we issue. Current invoices are digital invoices. So what is the difference? E-invoice is an invoice which is readable by machines. It has an data attached to it in XML or JSON format. So it's also called electronic invoice or a schema. So it is often validated by tax authorities and created as per the structure prescribed by them. So that's in a nutshell e-invoice. Now what is difference between current and the invoice? Current invoices which we issue PDF, JPEG or a Word format, those are human readable but not machine readable. And e-invoice, as I mentioned, is a machine readable format also. Current invoice, when you share with customer, is it validated by any external authority or party? No, we simply share with the customer. But e-invoice will be validated by third party, which will be tax authority in Oman. This is the second difference. Third is current digital invoice we can share by agreed means with the customer, by email or by their portal or through our portal. But e-invoice has to be shared through a network, electronic invoice network, which will be created by tax authority. So compulsory exchange has to be done through that exchange. Later on, for your AR collection or follow-ups, you can communicate via emails or through the other modes. Third, currently e-invoices are not integrated with any portal. We directly issue and send to client. But electronic invoice system of the tax authority. When is the implementation of that? Yeah, I'll cover the timelines in the coming slide. So the e-invoice is integrated with your ERP, and through that only invoices are shared. So this is the basic difference between digital and e-invoice. Now let us see which are the various models across the globe and which model Oman is going to follow and what are the timelines we will cover. So basically there are 4 broad models. First model is post-audit model. As the name itself suggests, in this model supplier will issue the invoice to customer first, then it will be validated by an external body like a post-audit. This was the oldest method which electronic invoice was started. Then now improvements are there, upgrades are there. Then second method was clearance model. In this model, first invoice was cleared by tax authority.
then you can share with the customer. So Saudi Arabia follows this model, clearance model. First it is validated by ZCA, a QR code is generated, it means invoice is now validated, and then it is shared with the customer. Then came another hybrid model, continuous transaction model, in which it was validated and parallelly shared with customer also. Then the latest one is called exchange network. This one is going to be adopted in Oman as well as in UAE. In this network, it will be like a blockchain. All the stakeholders will be connected real time. Invoice will be shared real time along with external approved service providers, which we will see. All good till now? Yeah. Yeah. So the difference between continuous transaction and exchange network is, in the third one, there is no common network. It is shared separately to tax authority, shared separately to customer, but same time. In the fourth one is a common network. So it goes all together. Like we send one email with CC to all the parties. That is the difference between third and fourth. Now let us see the model which Oman and UAE are going to adopt. Why we are keeping this session with the headings UAE and Oman? The reason being, both countries are following exactly same model. Timelines are also same. And if any of you have operations in UAE, you can understand both and implement together. Even if you don't have operations in UAE, we can take learnings from there and implement in Oman. That's how wherever I will be covering, it is applicable to both UAE as well as Oman. So the model which is implemented is 5-corner model. Now what does 5-corner model means is, 5 corner means consider as 5 stakeholders of the system. So the first stakeholder will always be supplier, the person originating the invoice. So corner one supplier will push the data from their respective ERP to corner 2. Who is corner 2? Corner 2 will be an software provider which will be approved by the tax authority. So seller has to select from the list, appoint them and share the data with them. Now what ASP will do, after receiving the data from supplier, they will validate as per the guidelines issued by the tax authority. If it's proper, it will share further. If any of the data is missing, it will reject and send back to the seller. So the role of ASP is to validate and share further in the network. There will be no direct communication between supplier and tax authority or between supplier and customer. It will be always through ASP. So that's why appointing ASP is mandatory in this model. So once invoice is validated, ASP simultaneously corner 2 will share with corner 3. Corner 3 is ASP of your customer in B2B transaction. In B2C transactions, corner 3 will not be there because customer will be individual, not VAT registered. So they will share with ASP of customer. They will again validate from the customer perspective. If validated, they will share with customer. Customer is corner 4. So corner 1 is supplier. Corner 2 is ASP appointed by supplier. Corner 3 is ASP of your customer. Corner 4 is your customer. And corner 5 is tax authority. So corner 2 will also send the data to tax authority. This will be the first flow of transaction. Then there will also be a reverse flow of acknowledgements, which is called MLS in the e-invoicing legislation. MLS means message level status. So that is kind of acknowledgement that we have received. So it will appear in the reverse order. Customer, who is corner 4, will send acknowledgement to corner 3. Corner 3 will send to 2. 2 will send to 1. Similarly, tax authority, when they receive the data, they call it TDD, tax data document. Once the data is received, they will also send MLS acknowledgement to corner 2 and corner 2 will send to 1. So when this transaction will close, once corner 1 supplier receives 2 acknowledgements, one from customer, one from tax authority. Those are to be recorded in the system in your invoice module as additional fields. Once both are there, means the transaction is successfully done. Invoice is successfully shared. So this is how 5-corner model will work. on the screen we have in the flow, we can also see in step by steps the flow which will be there. Now this looks a lengthy flow in terms of listening, but in reality it happens in milliseconds, fractions of seconds, and we have to do this real time for invoice sharing. All good till now? Any questions on the 5-corner flow before I proceed? Yeah. Yes. AS of the supplier. 3 is the ASP of the customer. Here. 4 is the customer. And 5th is tax authority. Invoice fields, which is called data dictionary, we will cover in the slide. So now we send the invoice. If I say currently we have 13 fields: supplier name, address, VAT in, base amount, taxable amount, VAT amount, customer's address, name, detail. There will be more additional fields which we are seeing in coming slides. Those all will be validated by the ASP. Yes, yes. Customer can reject because of commercial reasons or there is any error in the amount. Now let's say when we will send the invoice of instead of 5,000 riyal to $5,000 by mistake. So ASP might not know what is our contract. They will see the basic field, validate, amount is correct, 5,000, currency is correct. They will push. But when customer receives, they might see no, this amount is incorrect. So they can reject from their end. Or any, let's say VAT in is wrong. VAT in is correct in terms of structure, 12 digit, but it's of wrong entity. Let's say they have formed a tax group. So we have mentioned old VAT in of their individual. So even because of non-amount related field, if something is incorrect, they can reject. There can be scenarios wherein ASP might think data is correct, but they might not having access to all the things which we know. Let's say how much rate we have, premium we have agreed, discounted rate with the customer. So they will validate amount, they might not know what is the discounted rate. At present, Oman is going to start the registration process. Usually it will be around 50 to 60 in terms of number. There can be more also in the list. So in November, they will start, end of the November, they will start the registration process. And the ASP which we have also on with us on the call, they are having accreditation in the various countries. So globally there are few players which we expect the same to be in Oman once they are registered. They can be. So yeah, it's not mandatory. So they will be releasing the guidelines which we are covering in the coming slides. What are the guidelines for ASPs and the rules? So any IT company fulfilling those guidelines, they can register themselves as ASP. That's ASP's tools, systems, how they will validate. It's automated system, not manual validation. So that's how it's happening in milliseconds. Yeah. Sure. Should we proceed to next slide? So till now we have seen what is 5-corner model. Now let us see the timelines in Oman. So Oman is going to introduce E-Invoicing in 4 phases. And this presentation will also be shared with you all, so you can save your phone memory. That's rest assured. So this is made for you and will be shared with you. So they will be doing in 4 phases. In phase 1, they have already selected top 100 companies. They have sent emails to the respective company. They also selected few backup companies, which is around 50 in number. So they will start with them from August 26. They will be the first one. Second phase, so there is a gap of 6 months in each phase. Second phase will be covering top 1500. Third phase will be for all companies, all VAT registered, except ministries. And the fourth phase will be for ministries and government, which will start from Feb. So after 6 months, August 28, they will complete the full rollout of the e-invoicing. And the point to note here is they are also covering B2C transaction. So all type of transactions are covered, B2B, B2G, B2C, or even G2G. So companies, those who are selected for phase 1, they have to implement for all type of transactions, not only for B2B. All clear till here? I can say what I feel is why they have kept government last phases, because most of the government, they are into sovereign activities. They don't provide commercial activities, very few are there. So that's why they have kept them in the last stage. In this case, corner 3 and corner 4 will not be there. Other corners will work as it is. Supplier will send to ASP, ASP will send to tax authority. That's it. So 2 corners will not be there in B2B. But still for you it is mandatory to share. Now this we were seeing from supplier's angle. When you are customer, even for receiving invoices, adopting the e-invoice is mandatory. Otherwise you won't be able to receive the electronic invoice from your supplier. So it's at both ends, supplier as well as customer for B2B. So they have named the project of e-invoicing in Oman as Fawtara. Fawtara in Arabic means my invoice or my bill. So that's the name. And how they have selected the top 100, it's not only based on the revenue. There are 6 to 7 factors, like they have selected from each industry top players. Amount revenue is one of them. Then complexities, systems which they are using, whether they are having presence in multiple countries, MNCs, so they have selected them because MNCs they expect to be more prepared for the invoicing, already having systems and the team. So based on these factors, top 100 are already selected and email is sent to them. And there was a link for the survey also. For that, last date was 14 October. I hope whosoever has received replied to the tax authority because that was mandatory survey. Now let us see what is the timeline in UAE. So in UAE, they are also doing in phases. At present, they have just announced the timeline for 3 phases. And the difference between Oman and UAE is is not starting with B2C. They are just starting with B2B and B2G. B2C they will cover in the coming phases. This is the major difference between Oman and UAE. So their first phase will go live from 1st July 26. Over there also they are starting with selected top groups. They are calling as tax working group in UAE. With their consent, they will be starting with the pilot phase. And then they will issue they already issued the list of ASP which you were asking. At present in UAE, there are around 8 ASPs. This list gets updated every week as and when they clear the accreditation or certify the ASPs. UAE has already released a lot of legislative changes, data dictionary. So that's why we will take examples from UAE. In Oman, 80 to 85% will be same. I would say more than that. Minor changes will be there like decimal. In UAE it's 2 decimal, here it will be 3 decimal. Reason being, both are following an organization called PayPal. It's a European based non-profit organization. So they are adopting that model and their data dictionary means fields, structure, and they always issue international structures, data dictionaries. So that's why it will be same. And another reason of keeping same is because in network, if all the invoices are in the same structure, I would say same language, then they can understand each other and exchange with each other. So in UAE, first phase, July 26. Then second phase will be for companies whose revenue is more than 50 million dirhams. They will start from January 27 and 6 months before, by 31st July, they have to appoint ASP, compulsory. Then second phase, whose revenue is less than 50 million, they will have to appoint ASP by March 27 and they have to implement by July 27. And government entities here also, they will appoint ASP by March and they have to start from October 27. How many of you are having operations in UAE, if I may just know? Almost all of them. So these are the timeline. Now if you will see, let's say companies those who are selected in phase 2, for them Oman will be implementing from Feb 27, UAE will be implementing from Jan 27. So it makes a business sense to start implementation for them together. It will help you in cost and as well as saving the time. All good? So we'll discuss few FAQs which UAE has published already and same will be there in Oman. So the first important FAQ is that in case of VAT group, all the group members have to integrate with the e-invoicing network. I would say each member as well as each system. So even in one entity, if you have multiple invoicing systems, all must be connected with e-invoicing. It's not only the lead member who has to deal with the implementation. That is the first clarification which they have given. Second is in case of export, let's say now you are issuing commission invoice to your foreign reinsurers. those are qualifying as export of services. You report in box 3A of your VAT return. Now for those invoices, it will not be mandatory to have the ID because foreign person might not be there in the invoicing country. But if they are, let's say, in UAE, they will be already having a unique ID. You can mention them and you can share the invoice through same invoicing model. But let's say your customer is in India. Over there, this 5-corner model is not there. You can issue the invoice putting a dummy ID of your customer. Dummy unique electronic ID. So that is the clarification on exports. So for insurance, mostly goods will not be there. It will be export of services, commission parts. Third clarification is e-invoice is not applicable on import of goods and import of services. So for insurance, goods might be very less, but services might be there. Let's say you are receiving, reinsuring the policies with a foreign reinsurer. So those come under RCM. For them, e-invoicing will not be applicable. They will be covered as it is, as we are doing now. So this will basically apply only on the local transactions in majority. Third one, which Santosh asked, buyer can still reject the invoice, which is corner 4, sorry, not 5, corner 4. They can reject the invoices due to any commercial reasons. Another important clarification is that in case there is any error, the only way to rectify is via credit note. Invoice once issued cannot be cancelled as it is. It has to be supplemented by a credit note and a new invoice has to be issued with the correct details. There are many more FAQs, around 70 FAQs they have released, but these are the key ones which I thought will be helpful. Others we have mostly covered in the flow and the discussions which we had earlier. Yeah, so for B2C, they will not get real time through the network. Once the invoice is validated by tax authority, which is corner 5, an XML is validated and XML can be converted into PDF A3 format. That PDF you can share with the customer. It will be human readable by the customer as well as it will have a XML data attached to it. This is one way which will be mostly used. Second way is customer, like they can have an app, tax authority will launch an app. They can validate based on the invoice number through that app. But mostly it will be through the emails or the WhatsApp or communication mode which we use now. They will not be connected in the system because they don't have VAT number. Yes, so we will show in the demo, ASP itself has the facility that it will show list of all the validated invoice. You will have option download as PDF, email to customer directly or save as any other format. So that's all capabilities of ASP which will be available. Yeah, so there are rules for invoice number, but the point is for all different systems, you have to appoint only one ASP. Yes, you can keep serial number, let's say for medical separate or for particular branch separate number, those are fine. Yeah, but requirement is same like now. Let's say if you are going per branch, in branch also per division, let's say medical separate, motor separate, those must be in sequential order then. That binocular last level of invoice sequence, so PDF will go, but it will have an additional layer that this PDF will have the XML data attached. So in Oman we are following XML. JSON is another format of electronic invoice which is there in India. Oman and UAE, they are going with XML format.
PDF ones which we are sending, we need to completely stop that one.
Correct, correct.
And I have also one more question. When we invoice now, especially on the commercial lines, most of the cases the invoices are going to the brokers, if it is a broker driven business.
Yeah.
Then the broker arranges delivery to the customer in many cases,
Yeah.
okay, because most of the cases a broker prefer to control the delivery to the this
Yeah.
one. So in this case, now will be directly sending this to the customer based on the PEPOL ID, correct?
Correct.
Correct. So this process will change.
Yes. So there is a use cases of sharing via agent also. I am covering in the coming slide.
Okay.
But still directly it will flow directly in the network. Broker can have access in between as an agent or intermediary, but insurer will directly share to insured through the system. There cannot be a stoppage or block point that insurer issues first it goes to broker. So now it's not manual. It's a real time.
Okay.
So let us now, we covered models, we covered timelines. Now we will see which are the key elements of the e-invoicing. So as a main category, there will be only 4 documents. Tax invoice, which is also called electronic invoice, tax credit note, electronic credit note. Same too in case of self-billing, self-billed tax invoice and self-billed tax credit note. These will be the 4 main categories. Under this, there will be another subcategories based on the use cases. Like if somebody is dealing in profit margin goods, there can be profit margin invoice, invoice by an agent, which will cover, which will be relevant for insurance company. Any document other than these 4 will not be valid. So at present, if you are issuing debit note, that has to be changed. Which are the key tasks? The heart of the entire e-invoicing implementation is data dictionary. What is data dictionary? Consider it as a Excel with column headings, fixed column heading. Data has to be exactly as per that format. If it is not there, we won't be able to even get it approved from ASP. Even second corner will not accept. So that's why it is I am saying is heart of the e-invoicing. You take any high-end ASP, any good software, but if the data is not good, result will not be good. As we all know, the GIGO principle, garbage in, garbage out. So that's why it is supplier's responsibility to ensure they have the correct type of data structures in the system, in the source system. We'll be seeing many examples of data dictionary in the coming slide. For now, I'll give you one example of date. So date format will be YYY-MM-DD. It has to be in the same format. Now there are multiple ways to achieve that objective. First way, we change the format in our source system. If we cannot change by any ways, let's say we have DDMMYY. Second way is we can take help of ASP. With some logics, they can convert the date, or we can use any data converter to convert. These are the 2 methods. YYY-MM-DD. This will be the format. This is, they have 4 Ys, yeah. So this is the format. Whatever data dictionary fields which I will show in the coming slides, these are already published by UAE. In Oman, as I mentioned, we are expecting same because both are following the PayPal network. Got it? So that is the first key task. Now, you know that cleaning master data is not a quick task, not an easy one. It takes months. So that's why it is very important for companies, because hardly you have 10 months, those who are selected in top 100, and those who are in next phase, for them another 6 months, 16 months. So irrespective of that, whatever is the stage, even Oman has not released ASP list or for official data dictionary. At present, cleaning and analyzing the data dictionary requirement is crucial and important, so that you can work on time. That is the first key task which every company should take. Second is to check ERP capabilities, because now in this model, if you will see, there should be capabilities to share with the external parties through various tools. So we need to see whether our system is capable or not. If not, do we need to do any upgrade or onboard any other system? That is the second. So that also takes time in meeting with the vendors, arranging demo, ensuring it fits your IT framework and the operations, and selecting the best one. Third one is sanitizing the current master data. So even if we fix the field, let's say we have a column of country codes as per the ISO guidelines which they have released, but still our current data, Oman is mentioned, let's say at Muscat in country field, or it's mentioned Nizwa. We need to sanitize those fields also. Mobile number, some are with +968, some are without the country code. Those all sanitization of the current data also will take time, because you cannot create the masters from scratch. You have to integrate or import the current master into the ASP or the new software. So that also is a time consuming. And last is selection of ASP, because that is your partner in e-invoicing. Without that, process cannot be completed. So having the right ASP is the most important. We'll see which are the crucial points which companies should keep in mind while selecting an ASP. All good? Should we move? So now this is the list of fields which must be there in tax invoice. So around 50 fields will be there. In Oman at present we have 13 mandatory fields in tax invoice. There will be many additional fields, like there will be payment due date, there will be advance receipt date in case anything is received in advance. For goods they will introduce HS codes. For services they are going to introduce service codes. They will call service accounting codes, similar to what we have in India. So we have to ensure that we use the correct service accounting code for our all type of insurances or services for broker, let's say for commission. So that field will be there. Then there will be details of invoice type. So they will issue the list of codes. For B2B there will be one code, B2C there will be one code. So we have to select invoice type. There will be specific identifier, UUID, which they call it in electronic invoice. Then sellers, electronic address, electronic identifier. So this usually they base it based on the VAT TIN currently. Like in UAE, TRN is a 15 digit. They are going to use the first 10 digit, and with few more number, it will be a unique number. Consider it like an email address through which invoices will be exchanged in the model. So VAT TIN will be there, plus there will be a new unique identifier of the supplier as well as the customer. Then country codes, invoice line by line, base amount, VAT amount and the total including VAT will be there. Then there will be list of specific tax codes which I have covered in next slide. We have to use exact same codes. So if we are using something other, then same, either we have to convert the tax codes in our system according to the guidelines, or we can use any tool to convert the data. So these are the 50 fields which must be mandatory there in all the invoice. Some might not applicable to, let's say, quantity. In case of service, quantity column will not be mandatory. All good? Then the first one which we saw was for standard rated supply. E-invoice is mandatory even for exempt supplies, for life insurance. For there also, invoice has to be through the electronic model. Over there, 49 fields have been prescribed in UAE. One field is not there. Can somebody guide me which field is not there? No. In the first case, standard rated supply, we saw 50 field. Second case, we have 49 field. One field is less. Yeah, VAT. Because this is for exam. So VAT will not be there. That's why one is less. All good? Should we proceed to next or any queries?
See, there are many out-of-scope invoices we are issuing currently,
Yeah.
okay, which is neither exempt, zero rated or standard rated. So all this will come under the commerce.
Every invoice will come.
Every invoice.
Every invoice.
Even the inter-company means inter-group invoicing,
Everything,
which is
everything.
not covered under the VAT. All will be coming.
All will be there.
Okay. So, but we sometimes issue a credit note to broker for commission. That will not. That is not an invoice. It is a kind of this one, because broker raises a tax invoice for their commission.
Yeah.
But we raise a credit note. So this will not come in the scope. Correct. That is not.
These are all internal documents.
Internal documents. So those are
Yeah.
not there. But other than that, whatever we issue currently under out of scope supply, those will come under commercial invoice.
Yeah.
And that need to be reported.
Yes, even let's say when we issue for excess, which is an out of scope invoice,
Yeah.
that also will come through e-invoicing. So they will issue the type of codes which I was covering. These are the codes which has been specified in UAE. We have to change our tax codes as per this. So if you will see, they have code O for out of scope. So S means standard rate, E exempt, O out of scope, AE for VAT reverse charge, because in UAE they have local reverse charge also. In Oman yet we don't have it. Z is zero rated, and N means standard rated additional VAT. If you remember at the time of VAT implementation, we issued only VAT invoices for the transition premium over there. So there is a separate code in case we want to issue, let's say a zero rated invoice was issued first to a special zone customer. Later on we found it is not eligible for zero, it should have been 5%. So we can issue another invoice with only VAT amount, because base amount is already issued. So for that, N code is there. So our system tax codes, may it be SAP, Oracle, Navision, Premia, those codes are to be aligned with these codes which are prescribed by the tax authority. So we will just see which are the other fields of data dictionary. It's a long file, 168 pager. I have just kept few screenshots for reference. In detail, it's a very lengthy file and a lot of structuring detail how the system should be configured have been given. So if you will see invoice number, invoice date, invoice type code, transaction code, currency code. So currency code also they will issue list, USD, OMR, we have to use exact. If you are using RO for Oman Riyal, that will not be allowed. So standard format, exchange rate, VAT, due date, all those fields, they will have structure like the example which I gave for date. Here if you will see YYY, MMDD. So for every field there will be rules. They also call it schema. So those rules are to be followed and our then data will be capable of getting shared on the network. And another important fields, like for every credit note there is a field of reason why credit note is issued. So that has to be present. So mostly if it's not there in our system now, that has to be generated in the source system. There will be reasons for wherever we are charging exemption or zero rate. For exemption maybe we can have a standard field life insurance policy. But for zero rate we have to select, is it international transport, is it related to marine or special zone or export. Correct reason of zero rating has to be selected in the invoice. So these all are the new fields in addition to general 13 which we print now in the tax invoices. Here on the screen if you will see IBT 186, IBT 185. Now you would be thinking what is this IBT and all. These are unique codes issued by PayPal which will be same in all the countries, so that whenever anyone is referring this from IT perspective or from functional perspective, they can understand this IBT 185 means reason for tax exemption. It's common fields across the countries. Tax codes we covered. Other standard items will be there, like there will be document name codes, currency codes, allowances or invoice identifiers, frequency of billing code. Let's say we have payment methods. Premium is payable in 4 installments rather than single lump sum payment. For that also there will be codes. At the time of issuing invoice we have to select whether it's a single supply or in continuous supply, which we call in VAT legislation. So still now we are just discussing data dictionary, so you can estimate how long the exercise can be when it's actually implemented. It's not only implementing, assessing, training and then going live. So the 10 months time limit which is there for top 100, I would say it's very limited and very aggressive to be start with. So we covered models, timelines, key elements. Now last part which I will be covering is what should be the approach. Mostly we have discussed during the session, but to summarize, we would suggest 3-phased approach: assess, implement and operate. As the name itself suggests, first do a gap analysis. What is missing at present in our system or in our company or in terms of processes? Find the gaps. Once you have identified the gaps, fill those gaps by giving training, having proper systems, coordinating with the ASPs and do the testing in the development phase. Once UAT is perfect, giving correct results, third phase is to go live. Because if you are not ready by the go live date, you will not be able to generate the invoices, which is not an option. That business can be stopped for some days or some month. It has to be ready by the go live date. In VAT implementation, still we had flexibility that if we are not prepared, we could have holded our invoices for a few days or few months, because there was no electronic invoice requirement. It was digital, manual. We could have asked customer wait for a few weeks. We will issue you tax invoice later. But that option will not be there in e-invoicing. Go live date means electronic invoice. From that date onwards, any other invoice will be null and void. So these are the 3 phases. So they will not do direct testing of the companies. They will issue sandbox and testing platforms for ASP. So you have to try through your ASP, push data to your ASP. If ASP gives successful result, means your invoice and the configuration is correct. they will do the configuration with tax authority and validation, ASP. Yeah, we will see the demo also. Till now we are just discussing on the slides. We have a live demo in few minutes now. So which are the key steps? The first step is to have an functional lead and tax expert appointed as a project lead. What this person will do, he will be the bridge between your internal stakeholders with all external stakeholders. When I say internal, means your employee training, your IT department, your management, your finance, and your tax team. When I say external, dealing with OTA, because there will be various meetings, sessions with OTA will do, they will release important data, and there might be scenarios wherein we have to put a representation to tax authority. Like for insurance, it was done initially for personal lines, if you remember, VAT on the transition policies. So representations will be required. Dealing with your ERP vendor to give them proper input so that they can develop the system. Dealing with the ASP, dealing with other external stakeholders, with your customers, with your vendors, because you have to give training to them also and agree on a process. Now, for example, as Santosh was mentioning, if currently process is not to share directly, then you have to change the process to align with the e-invoicing process with your vendors and customer. So that person will be the bridge or a single focal point for managing all your stakeholder expectation and getting the things done on time. It's not in public domain. They are sent email one-to-one to respective companies. Yeah, so around 8 are already issued. They are ASPs, not ERP. ERP can be any. So this is a no UAE, as I'm mentioning, ERP will remain your same as it is. Let's say if I'm using SAP, Oracle, or Microsoft Dynamics, that will remain as it is. There will be an additional tool, which is an ASP, which will be on top of it. So that tool list has been published, software. There, we don't have to change ERP. We have to just add an additional layer on it. Second, formulate a detailed strategy for conducting gap assessment and implementation. Create a team, project lead in your internal organization to do this project. Third, as I mentioned, evaluate and appoint ASP. Since there will be so many options in the market, you have to evaluate which fits my requirement, has experience of my industry, suits my budget, because pricing is also very range. From low to high, there are all options available for the tool. Some would be in BESAs, some would be in higher BESA. Let's say ranges from 10 BESA per document to even 900 BESA per document. So you have to select an appropriate ASP depending upon the volume of your invoices, systems, how many you are using. That will be the key third step. And the fourth is to train your employees and check various times your IT system that it's correct before the go live date. Last slide from my side. What are the few benefits of starting now? First, no brainer. It will save you a lot in terms of cost, because there will be handful of ASPs, implementers in the market. So if you will select late, first you might be paying premium to them. Second, you will get less time what is required to do a quality implementation. So cost saving is the first benefit. Second, you will get a lot of time to brainstorm and make the best out of your cost for implementing, not just rushing for now, because if you think I'll upgrade it later on, again it will come with a cost, and you cannot do it so many times, it will impact your business processes. Third, employee training and change management. This is a highly technical subject, so even your employees all in the branches who are facing the customer, if they are not trained well, if they do mistakes in data entry, again as we discussed, garbage in, garbage out. So they are the important enablers for the successful e-invoice. You will get time to check how other countries are doing, because this model is coming first time in UAE and Oman, but there is a four-corner model which is already there in various European countries, in Japan. So we can take lessons from those countries and find out a solution to implement in Oman. And for that we need time. At the end moment we don't have time. It's like exams, just only a crash course. We read to just get passing marks. We don't aim for the higher percentage. And the last one, that management will be comfortable that whatever we have done is complied and we are ready to go live. They can give comfort to the management and board of director that we will not face any issues in the business processes. So that was all from my side. Now quickly we will see the demo of the tool and then we will be opening up the Q&A.
So let me introduce myself. My name is Praveen Sawant, based in India, Mumbai location. I am Vice President Business Development for Global E-Invoicing. Last 20 years, I am into indirect tax and E-Invoicing and currently handling more than 20 plus countries. So under the Taxila, we build this RigTech platform which offer ERP specific integrations and transformation and country specific validations and competition rules. So we are a certified PayPal access point. We are ISO 27001 and 9001 certified company. Also, we are a SOX 2 Type 2 compliant, and also we are under a GDPR process. So it's a cloud-based solution. So we do the VAPT test for the data security and privacy from the third-party vendor, and we offer platform as a service and software as a service. So let me talk about our journey. So we started in 2015 in USA. In 2017, we established a global delivery center in India. In India also, we are a registered solution provider under a GSP for e-invoicing, e-way bill and GST return. And one of the big four accounting firms, KPMG, for India, they use our white label solution. So in 2019, India launched e-invoicing solution, and 8% market share we have for India for e-invoicing and e-way bill. First, outside of the India, we launched our Saudi Arabia e-invoicing solution in 2021. In 2022, we got a PayPal certification, and we completely built a 4-corner and 5-corner infrastructure with the help of the AS4 implementation methodology. And after that, more than 20 plus countries, we are offering our e-invoicing solution. So similar to the PayPal, there is a DBNA network in USA. There also we are a pilot member. And in Saudi, we have around 500 plus customers. When we talk about the PayPal rollout, so to make ourselves authorized service provider, we need to accredit or authorize our company into that particular country. So we have already accredited in Belgium, Australia and Japan. Last year 2024, Malaysia launched the e-invoicing. So Malaysia started with a PayPal plus CTC model. It's a hybrid model they have opted. So just like in Oman there is a OTA, in UAE there is a FTA, in Malaysia there is a MDEC, and MDEC is using our e-invoicing solution. So because we are a PayPal solution provider, so UAE last year called all the vendors and they updated the e-invoicing models in UAE. So as Jay also already told, there are two type of models globally accepted. One is a PayPal based, second is a CTC model. So these are the countries in next 2 years they have been mandate for a e-invoice. So one is UAE as a pilot project in 26 July, Oman, Singapore, Croatia, Belgium and Latvia. These are the countries. Next 2 years it's a mandate. And there is a CTC model where Germany, France, Poland, Jordan, Spain and Philippines. So we are a global e-invoicing solution provider. So we have a global invoicing compliances. Other than that, we have an invoice to cash, invoice to pay, financial closure and tax reporting. So we work with partner first approach and we have a strong network globally. So these are some of the customers in global plus Saudi Arabia. So specifically in terms of an insurance company, we have a Liva Insurance in Saudi Arabia. We have a ICICI Lombard. We have a Liberty Insurance. They are into India. Then we have a General Insurance Corporation in Malaysia. We have a Boost Bank. So, and then there is a Avon in Malaysia. Other than that, we almost covered all the big verticals like a retail chain store. We have a Saudi Airlines, Kamal Osman Jamjum, BBQ Chicken, Moad, in hospitality, we have a Hilton, we have a Vodafone. So almost all the verticals, we provided our solutions. Okay. So let's start with the product demo. And before that, Jay has already explained you about the metadata. So metadata for a UAE, it is already published and it is finalized. But in Oman, I think in November, they are going to publish the first technical documentation. So I will just highlight only one part. So when government announced, like in FTA announced 50 fields, okay. Now that 50 field is a part of the FTA VAT rules. But other than that, there is a pinned format, that is a PayPal format also field is there. So if I talk about the UAE, there are 91 fields which will be the part of the solution provider. Okay, so that part also covered under this metadata. And when we do the gap analysis, so this particularly metadata will gives you the idea that what are the changes you have to do. Second, lookup tables. So lookup tables is nothing but it's a standardization of a data. So every ERP, they are calling themselves as something different document, but you have to follow the stored value. So this is also one of the gap analysis required. The advantage with Taxila is we basically map that particularly lookup value in our transformation. So you don't need to customize your ERP. Whatever you are calling in your ERP, you just need to tell us and we will map it into our middleware. So this will have a minimum efforts at a ERP level. Okay, now let's start about the product. So we are providing two type of interface. One, for example, you are using any global ERP or your vertical wise specific ERP and you are using one source system or multiple source system. Now, your business users idea is they don't want to log into any other portal. They want everything to be happen in their ERP system, right? So for that, we are providing this APIs. That API as a service is nothing but you will build a required informations, required functionality within your ERP and Taxala will take care of this middleware part. Okay, so in a four corner model already basically explained by Jay that your job is to only focus on corner one to corner two. Okay, this is part we are basically taking care. So here we are going to provide the API. So it's a very simple API. And here it's like I will just give you one example how this will be connected to my portal also. So portal is used for more on a reconciliation, MIS reporting, a dashboard, and other than the integrations, if you want a UI to do the manual data entry, or you want to upload the Excel file. Okay, so that particular things will be the part of the web portal. So first thing, the simple mechanism is a two API call. First, with your IT team, we are going to provide this URL plus client ID, client secrets, and our sandbox for testing purpose. So first thing, we have to generate a access token. So this is the access token. Now this access token will be used, same will be used for 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 hour, or 10 days. After that, you have to renew it, and it is all controlled by your team only. Okay. Then there is a post data. So first, you are going to generate a tax invoice in your ERP, and your IT team is going to use this URL and going to post the data to my middleware. Okay. So for that, they have to use this access token. Now there is a parameter. So what is parameter? Parameter is nothing but this is the transformations what we have built, right? So when we do the gap analysis, during that time we have built this transformation. The body part is nothing but your tax invoice data. So it may be a credit note, debit note, tax invoice, summary invoice, all the document type required to report to the FTA or OTA will be the part of this transaction types. Now, here, this is your invoice number from your ERP. So I'm just changing this to 2 number. Okay. And then here, the document type is the invoice type code, whether it's a tax invoice, credit note, debit note, all will come under this thing. So it means this particularly JSON payload will remain common for all the document types. Now, when you send it, okay, it will give you a message called request created successfully. And it's a 1.8 seconds. Now, let's understand here where this data will go. So this is our portal. Now, from the data storage archival, we have to host the data in a local country. So for the UAE, maybe the Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and for the Oman, we are going to host our solution in Oman. So data storage, archival, and processing, everything will be in the respected country. Okay, so we have a single sign-on concept. If you don't want to create a username password, and now what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you the process, what Jay has explained to you, corner 1 to corner 2, 2 to 3, 2 to 5, and how this buyer will receive the invoice. So I think you have just imagined that this is the 5 corner model and how the seller and buyer will digitally exchange the data. Now, how it will be there, let me show you. So right now, what I'm doing, I am the corner 1. Okay. From the corner 1, I am sending the data to the corner 2. Okay. So here, I'm just logging into my portal. Okay, then we have a two-factor authentication or OTP-based secret question. Okay, once you log in here, first thing is we are going to create a org ID for you. So as a ASP, you will get a PayPal ID and everything, but this is our subscription model. Then we have a user and rules and permissions. So for example, uh, if you want to upload the data manually, but you want that I need a maker shaker concept, review approval method. So that can be configured here. Then if you have a multiple physical locations where you are doing the business, so that location will be there. We have a master data. The master data is nothing but particularly customer master, product masters, that will be standardized here. Then integration. So ours is a low code, no code platform. It means we don't do any development. So FTP, simply configuration of the FTP. Then APIs. So API is also very simple. Okay. Other than this, we have a tenant subtenant concept. Means suppose you have a group of companies. Under your group, you have a 5, 10 entities. Okay. So group is your tenant, subtenant is your multiple legal entities. Okay. Under the multiple legal entities, you have a multiple locations. Okay. That can be configured as a subtenant, or you have a business, for example, in Saudi, UAE, or any other country, that will be your subtenant. So the management team, when they open the dashboard on a single sign-in, they can see the performance of the company in terms of a compliances, whether you are timely doing or handling the error. All that things can be seen as a one view for all the companies. So this is how the setup will be. Now here, if you can see, there are two apps is there. One is the AR app, second is the AP app. So AR app and AP app is designed as per today's law of OTA and FTA. If there is a changes or updation in the rule, I have to only work on this respected app so that we can provide you update very fast. My platform is not going to change. Okay, now here I will just go to the AR. Now, when you click on this, okay, you will see this 102. You can see here 102. So this is the API from the ERP. Okay, this is considered, this is your ERP. From ERP, you generated a tax invoice called 102, and this will come to my platform as a C2. So from C1 to C2, I received it. Okay, now here there are two things are there. Once I receive the data, immediately I will post the data to the C5, that is FTA or OTA, and C3, which is nothing but a buyer access point. But if you want somebody should approve it before posting, we can create a workflow here. Okay. Now, here I wanted to show you something called particularly UUID. So for each of the documents, I have to generate the UUID. You will see the success. This is the point AE or point OM XML format, which I have to report to the FTA or OTA and a buyer. Okay, now you can see here C3 response code and C3 response description. So what is this? So C3 is your buyer has accepted or rejected. That messages you will get it. And second, C5 response code and C5 response description. Now the portal is not ready for the UAE and Oman. So this is a blank. So once the portal is ready, you will get these two response. Now, as a IT of your company or a finance guy, what you are expecting back in your ERP is whether FTA or OTA accepted my invoice and the C3 they have accepted or not. Now that message you have to store in your ERP against that document for an audit purpose. Okay, so here once you have submitted, you will see here. Now let's try the another two methods. So for example, consider in insurance or in hospitality or service industry, you are forced to use the multiple source system. Okay, now multiple source system because it's a business need. So consider one of your source system is capable of doing the API integration. Okay, second, it's not compatible with the API, but you can do the FTP batch wise automated scheduler wise integration methods. With every 10 to 15 minutes, you can exchange the data between your ERP to the Taxila middleware. Now, third system you have where you are saying, I am not doing the daily billing. I need a platform where I can manually upload the data every month end with a 100 or 1000 invoices. So you have a file upload options here where you can upload the data in any of the format. And consider there is a one division or credit note, you don't have a system and you are saying that I need a user interface where I can just simply do the manual data entry. So as a middleware, whatever the integrations or requirement, we are fulfilling all the four requirements. So for this, a same source system or a multiple source system can be doing. Yeah, Jay.
This can be used, let's say you have a commercial property division for which is not a major part of your revenue, but still you have that portfolio and you have to issue invoices for residential rent or commercial rent. You can use this method of file upload or even data entry to cover those transactions. Yeah, Praveen.
Okay, thanks. So now let's understand how the C1, that is you, are sending the data to the middleware, and middleware is basically sending the corner file and the buyer. So how these transactions will look like. So consider here, okay, so consider here, this is the basically a file which you are going to upload it or through integration you are going to report to the corner 2. So I'm just changing this to 5 and this is the invoice number. Okay. Now before this, maybe Jay has already told you. See, what is the beauty of the corner 4, which is not available for a CTC model? Now, consider there is a process currently you are following. So, along with your tax invoice, suppose you wanted to share some additional document, like, for example, uh, dispatch advice, test certificate, receipt, or
Policy.
any document, policies, or any document which is related to the buyer, which is nothing to do with the FTA and OTA. Here, today you are sending through email all the attachment, all that manual efforts you are putting. Now, no more need of that. So, you can give me all that documents in a base 64 format. I will deliver all these policies or everything directly to the buyer, and only tax invoice I am going to the corner file. So here it is not only restricted to the e-invoicing, credit note, debit note, but any supporting document like a catalog, purchase order, anything, you can do it. So consider the case if you have a supplier or a preferred vendor. Today, maybe you have a vendor portal or you have a procedure of EDI, all that required effort, investment from the vendor side also and your side also. But consider here, suppose you have a 20 or 25 or more than that, a specific vendor who are only dealing with you or they are ready to support you. Now, right now they are issuing the purchase order or you are issuing the purchase order, they are issuing the invoices or any other related document. If you can control all that four into this seller and buyer, you can individually share all this document, which is not part of the FTA also. So in this way, you can have a complete digitalizations of your core network, which is nothing but your vendor and your close vendor. So this is the one more advantage. So let me show you here also. So right now, here you can see this is the invoice which I am receiving from C1. That is you from your ERP, and this is the document. So it's a very easy to convert this. There is a tool available. So right now, this particularly is called a purchase order I have attached. Okay, like that you can attach a PDF, JPG, Excel file, any format you can attach. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to upload this file here. Okay, now it's a two-step process. First, login. Second, just upload the file. Okay, now you can see here, invoice submitted. This is the 300115. 300115. This is the invoice I have updated. Now here you will see this is the supporting document. Okay, let me open this and show you what document I have attached. So this is only a one document which is called dummy PDF download. Okay, so this is what I have attached now. Okay, and here you will see the UUID, success UUID, and then you will see C3 response code AB accepted successfully. Okay, now here in report, we have a multiple options. So if you want output in a PDF, JSON, XML, any format, you can get it. Now let's understand how this data will be received by C3 and buyer. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to log in to a separate browser with a separate login credentials to show you how the data will work. So right now, I'm logged into this browser. So here,
So this now we are seeing as a buyer, because as an insurance company we will
buyer,
receive
yes,
invoices from brokers, garages or reinsurers. So even as a customer, how we will function as C4, that we are seeing now.
yes. Now, here in this case, I have acted as a AR, right? I have shown the AR, 13.7 INC. Now I will work as a AP because I am receiving the invoice. So I will just go to this AP model, and here you will see this. So here you will see 30015. This is called 30015, PGS INV 30015. Okay. And company seller is Blue Harbor Logistic, and here buyer is 373, and here Blue Harbor Logistic. Okay. So here this is basically gone accepted. Okay. And here you will see the PGS INV invoice number. Then you will see here address, seller address, the payment terms, the attachment, all the details. So, and UUID. So here, the exact replica of your AP invoice. Now here you need to understand two things. For example, as I explained to you, or Mr. Jay has already explained, there are 50 fields are there. But there is another field called optional. So there are certain fields which you need to be a part of your internal verification number. For example, purchase order number, GRN number, or any bank details, or any additional information which is not part of the FTA. And FTA don't want to do this. So that also you can add in your sale invoice. So it is not necessary that only 50 fields. You have to tell your vendor, okay, you know there are 20 fields I am going to validate before passing your invoice. So that 20 field also I need it. So here, when I received it, I will get it. Yeah, Jay.
Yeah. So as Praveen mentioned, those 50 fields were from tax authority angle. We can have additional optional like we will need policy number, insured name in case of medical, dependent. Those all fields which are from our business perspective, we can build it optional and which are mandatory for our business operations. But those 50 are mandatory from tax perspective. Yeah, Praveen, back to you.
Yeah. So here, for example, see, initially, before everybody will go live, okay, everybody will expect, or the big company will expect, no, 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 I want data in a PDF format only. So, because they will take a time. Okay, so I am giving that option also. Suppose any of my buyers, they say, I don't want to integrate my ERP system into my EP model. Till the time I will do the manual data entry, I can give the exact invoice detail also here. Okay, so here, if you see, I am just going to provide everything like this. So here, I am going to provide you the AP invoice, where you will see the logo and all the details. Slowly, this will get over because after 2 years, when everybody will have the e-invoicing mandate, they have to compulsory go to a digital mode only. So right now, I am telling most of the client that you start looking at a AR and AP automation. Because if you are today you are doing, after 2 years definitely you have to do. But why can't you do today? So that you have an internal AP teams to progress all these things. Second, in terms of a compliances, in a four-corner model, the beauty is you are receiving the invoices from the ASP. It means it's a fully compliant invoice. Now let's understand from the CTC side. If you look at the Saudi Arabia or India, in Saudi, all the procurement teams, they have a lot of manual work to do before booking the AP invoice. How? First, they will scan the QR code, they will check, okay, it is perfect. Second, they will check the XML, digitally signed XML, whether it is really uploaded or not. So there is always fear which is there in India also, and any country where CTC model is there, because if it's a fake invoice or if they have not posted on a government portal, they will lose the input tax credit. But in Oman and UAE, that fear is not there because you are receiving from the ASP only. So you have to directly take it. Okay. So here, but still we are giving the options. If my, for example, you are my customer and you are saying, no, 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 I don't want to implement this AP automation right now. I need a PDF copy. So I can give you here PDF copy. Second, you can see here additional documents. So this is what we got it. So let me open this PDF. Here, not this. Yeah, double PDF. So like this, you can have your insurance policy and all the other documents you can see. Now, down the line here, you have a report. So before going to the reports, there is a audit trail. So all the users, date and timestamp is there. Okay, this is more important in terms of audit per se. Plus, here for each of the customers, okay, let me show you. There is a onboarding process. So onboarding process means nothing but each and every customer, they have to select the ASP. Then ASP is going to create a PEPAL ID. PEPAL ID is nothing but your TIN number or TRN number or VAT ID. Okay. Once that is done, the ASP will provide, that is FTA will provide ASP a client ID, client secret. This is the there. Okay. And then PayPal API service as a taxiller and your username password. This is the simple method which is the onboarding process, and this will be done by the ASP only. He will do all these things. So here we have a screen to create a PayPal ID and all the other information. Okay. Now let's understand our dashboard. So right now we can add more here, but for the testing purpose we have just given a few things. So here what is the important here? The invoice posted, number of times that is there, then how much VAT I have to pay monthly. So that particular reports you will get it, because we are providing tax reporting also, and after everybody will go live for e-invoicing, your VAT return is going to change from today you are doing the summary tax return. After that it's a transactional based tax VAT return. So it's completely automated. Second, this status you will see how many has successful, how many got an error, and how many got a in process. Now here today the reconciliation is done by the FTA, OTA with a taxpayer after you have filed the return. So you have enough time that every 3 months, 6 months, whenever the auditor comes, there is a major practice of doing the reconciliation offline, right? And that is a very tedious job. You are spending much time on that only. But understand, after this, when your return is changed, government will not come to your home. Okay, they will say, this is the report of your things, this is the liability, and this is the credit. Now you prove me I am wrong. So it is a now reverse, and you don't have to go there. So it's called a reconciliation. So typically when you are doing this reconciliation, taxiller will help you for giving the reconciliation things, that what are the data posted, what is there in your GL, and what are the transaction is missing. Second, today every month, what I understood is in all over world that every month there is a reconciliation between credit note and how much VAT I had to pay. Now today credit note is a major problem to all the industries, because what happened, every month or after that your finance, your sales, your operations people will do the things and you pass the credit note. Now understand in a e-invoicing scenario, what is the main problem or what is the trend you have to change. See, typically, suppose you generated one tax invoice on 26th of the October, okay, and after 2 days, customer has cancelled your policies or cancelled something, okay, but you have not passed the credit note. So because you have a practice at month end, or maybe the next month I will give the information, you got it after 2 days. So before closing the month, you got a information, right? Now, when you are filing the return, your liability at a OTA, FTA is there of that invoice. But here, in your particular books of account, it's showing the cancel. Now that is where the difference is there, because if you have to pass the credit note, you have to pass immediately, or else you have to pay the money from your pocket, which is not your revenue also, because you have not simply passed the credit note. That liability is always there on a FTA or OTA. Okay, so that mechanism you have to do it. See, anyhow, next month you will pass the credit note and that reversal will be there. But that month VAT amount will be high, right? So there are few things which may impact your business, which a part of the business advisory or tax advisory you have to understand. Because there are today's process what you are offering or doing, which may impact when it come to the real-time invoicing. Because real-time invoicing means real-time data storage at a OTA and FTA level. So here, this particularly reports and everything will be given. Now, right now, from the point of view of UAE, the corner 5 is under a sandbox testing. What we are doing the sandbox testing on them, and November they are planning to move to the production. So we will get a testing phase of real-time response from them. Okay. So typically, as I told, this is the four corner model I have shown. Right now, it is all the messaging systems where corner 1 to 2 is only your job, 2 to 5, 2 to 3 is done by the ASP, and delivering the invoices to the buyer is a job of corner 3. Okay. As a taxpayer, your expectation is you need to know whether my C5 or C3 has accepted or not. 95% rejection will be not there. Why? Because rejection is because here the validation is mandatory, conditional mandatory data plus structural data of print format. So let me show you the print format also so that you will understand. So here you can see this is the format. So for tax invoice, you have a in UAE I am talking about. Similarly, Oman also will give the same thing. Commercial invoice, continuous supply, every invoice they have a different format. So
Yeah.
consider this standard tax invoice. When you open it,
Yeah.
this is the print AE XML format.
Yeah, this is machine
This is
readable.
how machine readable. This is how you will get up things. Okay. Similarly, it's a long format. Now, suppose you received it, your procurement team will say, right, how can I read this? Because nobody can read, right? So they need something called a PDF. And understand, it's a near to real time. It means when vendor will issue the invoice, maybe less than a 15 second, 20 seconds, this AP invoice is in your folder. Okay, then your vendor may be sending the PDF copy or not, that is a different one. But here, Taxila is providing this. So, as I told, from the Taxila perspective, we are giving this as a AP invoice just for the beginning, because maybe it will take a time for your user to test the things. Okay, so like this, you have a different format. Similarly, for credit note, you have a standard credit note. Okay, so
Yeah,
this
Praveen.
is all about from my side, Jay. So if anything is there, just let me know.
Sure, sure, Praveen. That was helpful.
Any question?
Yeah. Now what we'll do, we'll just discuss typical 5-6 cases of insurance industries which are to be taken care. And then if you have any questions from system perspective, feel free to ask Praveen. So now why it is important to start early, because financial service sector is considered one of the complicated industries after oil and gas. So just imagine the scenario of now, let's say you are dealing with brokers. So most of the companies in Oman, I understand, they take input credit based on broker's invoice. They are not adopted self-billing with most of the broker. Now if you have to reconcile that no, my credit note commission should match, I don't have to reconcile with the broker later, you can go for a self-billing method. In that case, you will issue corner 4 as an invoice as a customer, and it will go to broker. So that alignment with the brokers, as you would recall at the time of VAT implementation, how much time it took, it needs to be restarted now if you want to do it. That is first case. Second scenario, now you are dealing with lot of other partners like banks, airlines or automobile dealers for selling your car insurances, warranties. So even those systems have to be aligned as per the invoicing. So you have to define who is the supplier, which will be mostly insurance companies, those who are fronting or issuing the policies, that how they will collect the data from their system. Let's say you have agreement with the bank and will comply with the invoicing. That is the second biggest scenario. Third one is claims, warranties, how you will receive invoices from garages. Because Oman, if you will see, they are implementing in phases. So some of the vendors will be in first phase, some will be in phase 2, others might be in phase 3. Till the time you have to do hybrid, you have to claim manual credit based on the invoices of the phase 3 vendors and from the phase 1 vendors via e-invoicing. So that dual reconciliation you have to keep. Once all are onboarded, then input will be allowed only as per the tax authority or report from the ASP. Whatever input is there as per your financial, that will not be considered. As per the report from the invoicing model portal, that will be considered full and final. Now tax authority has so much data with them, full data. So they will use this data for verifying your corporate tax filings, withholding tax filings, other submissions with other government authorities. Let's say now you will be reporting emergency fund, government taxes which are to be paid to CMA. Even those will be reconciled then over there. So it will be a full business revamp, I would say. It's not only invoice change. Finance, IT, legal, operation, everyone has to come along and manage this big reform. And you can take advantage of streamlining your other processes which are manual now, how it can be automated with e-invoicing. And there are various other scenarios, like in couple of cases, as we know, we deal with broker, we don't know who is the reinsurer or how much is the split. That also now needs to be taken care, because when you issue invoice for commission to international reinsurer, you need to mention name compulsory. So that broker note will not work in the e-invoicing. Further, when there are co-insurers or big insurances wherein there is one lead and other are the reinsurer, over there also you need to align that lead will issue invoice to the insured, then others will share their part through, that also has to be through e-invoicing. So back to back. So there are various scenarios which we tackle during VAT implementation. Now it will be much more bigger than them during the e-invoicing. So that was all from my side. Now we have around almost 30 minutes for Q&A. Please feel free to ask any questions which you have. We have mics and my colleagues who will share with you. Just you can raise your hand, and anything functional I will take it up. Anything from technical point, system perspective, Praveen will take care. Praveen, you can hear us, right? Clearly? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Thanks.
Yeah. Tanuj, here. Please feel free to ask questions. Don't feel shy. Anything discussed will remain in this room. It will not go outside.
Hi Jay, thank you for this session, and
Yeah.
thanks Praveen. I just wanted to know, are there any exceptions for free zone or government entities or B2C transactions? Like how when we implemented VAT, there was an option of simplified tax invoice.
Yeah.
So for B2C or government, is there any other option available on the e-invoicing side? I just
Yes,
want
yes.
that.
So 4 categories we saw were main categories: invoice, credit note, self-billing invoice, and self-billing. There will be subcategories under that which Praveen showed, which will be summary invoice, simplified tax invoice, buyer credit note, buyer tax invoice. Those subcategories will remain same. Only major change will be the title change, like in simplified, customer VAT-in will not be there. Rest all the fields will remain same, process and task will remain same.
Okay. And one more
Yeah.
question. In case if there is any correction in the invoice, so what is the parameters, like what is the process for it?
Credit note and
Credit
reissue.
note and
It's
debit
only via credit note.
And there's a time frame to issuance of that, or how is that?
No. So at present, as per Oman VAT law, there is no time limit for services to issue credit note. For goods, there is a 90 days time limit. But in insurance, I don't understand that will be applicable. So for services, there is no time limit to issue credit note.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We send to customer forgets to post it, couple of months pass by, then they ask us to reissue the invoice with the current date so that they can account into system. So those will not be possible because in that there is no wrong amount, no wrong description, anything, all are correct. Simply to date change, system will not allow. So major reasons which are there as per VAT law is either there should be change in amount, there should be change in any discount given, in goods returned or for insurance policy cancelled. If these reasons are not there, then credit note will not be allowed.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
One more thing to add here,
Yeah.
original invoice number is mandatory.
Correct. This is one of the point which I was going to highlight. Now, many times in medical special, we issue invoices, endorsement, we cancel, and we don't have reference of original invoice available all the time. Now, this will be one of the mandatory field in the data dictionary. So, that is the benefit of starting early. We can brainstorm, and if there are some areas where it's actually difficult for the industry as whole or not possible, we can represent to OTA to find a bring some exception for the industry as a large.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah.
And Jay,
Yeah,
on
Brian.
my screen you can see these are the credit note reason and
Yeah.
this is the store value you have to give.
So compulsory that has to be selected.
Jay,
Yeah.
currently we are mentioning the
Yeah.
policy number.
Yeah.
Okay, most of us are mentioning the original policy number as a reference to the original invoice.
Yeah.
We are not mentioning the original tax invoice number. So I think, as you rightly mentioned, it would be difficult to identify the invoice against which we are issuing the tax
Yeah.
invoice. So this is one of the point we may need to align. Otherwise, the original tax invoice number is one of the option because that may not be always right, because we may be issuing a credit note against a tax invoice or a debit note which we issued subsequently for an addition. So these kind of things will be there. So that would be a kind of a discussion point.
Yeah.
I have another question is on how when in the first phase only I think a few of the insurance companies here are in the first phase, and Oman, most of the suppliers will not be there and most of the customers will not be there. So if the customers are not there in the PayPal, so we will be issuing the invoice, then it will go to the ASP, then how it will reach the customer if the customer is not registered on PayPal?
So two ways. Now to customer, once it's validated, as Praveen showed, we can download the PDF. That we can share with customer, and these timelines which I told, these are mandatory for the phase 1 selected but optional for others. So even though let's say I have not been selected in phase 1 or phase 2, some companies optionally they can voluntarily they can onboard themselves under e-invoicing, and if they onboarded, you can share with them directly as a network through the e-invoicing network. So both the options are there. Send them PDF with XML data, or if they are opted voluntarily, they will automatically get as a corner 4.
This we can do set up in the ASP itself for delivery.
Yes, yes.
If it is if the customer is not registered on PayPal, so can we just send it from the ASP itself? Because otherwise it will be another manual exercise for
Yeah.
us.
Praveen, correct me. Do we have an additional facility of sending email directly or WhatsApp integration?
Yes, so let me take this question.
Yeah.
See, your question is, okay, so your question is, you are coming under a phase 1 and your client is not under a phase 1. So how the transaction will work? So first thing, as I explained to you, this whenever there is a seller which is coming and selecting the ASP will create a PayPal ID. So all over Oman and UAE, there will be a service metadata locator where you consider as a telephone address directory or address directory. All the PayPal ID is there. Okay. Now you also don't know whether my buyer is coming under a PayPal, phase 1, phase 2, my vendor is coming. So I always tell in every country, first thing, don't do anything. First thing, you prepare your buyer and vendor email addresses, name of the person. Prepare very beautiful email saying that this is particularly e-invoicing is coming. I am as a company, I am coming under a phase 1. Now you identify yourself, whether you are coming under a pilot project, voluntary adaptation, or you are coming under a phase 1. If yes, then what will be the procedure? This is one thing you have to do. But suppose you have not done it, how you will come to know? So when you will give me the tax invoice, okay, to the corner 2, which is a ASP, from your invoice, I will get a TRN number, TIN number of your buyer. I will search here in SMA. Because he is not coming under a phase 1, I will not get a PEPOL ad. So, first thing, I will directly send the data to the OTA and FTA. Okay. Second, if I have your buyer email address, I can directly send the email to your buyer. That is option 1. Option 2, I will inform you that he is not coming under a PEPOL, so you share the PDF copy to the buyer. So both the options are available.
Yeah. So it can be shared via PDF or WhatsApp integration. Many things are possible.
Yeah.
And another, like many areas are there. I'm just sharing whatever is coming to my mind now. Like we would be issuing policies for our employees itself, for medical. Now those as per VAT law should be reported as deemed supply. Even for those, e-invoicing will be mandatory under the invoicing. So there will be many areas which still are also required as per the VAT law, but not getting on the surface because there is no monitoring or exchange data. So those will also come under the surface. So that's why in the gap analysis we also do a kind of mini health check, technical assessment, like which are the areas wherein compliance as per law should be required and will be mandatory or highlighted once the invoicing is there. So you can cover up those areas also and have an process that these policies which are issued to my employee, I also need to report as a deemed supply at the value which is permitted as per the law. Yeah, Mohsen,
Jay.
sorry. Yeah.
Thank you for the session. Actually, I have about 2 questions.
Yeah.
The first one is that as far as revenue closing is concerned, I understand this is a real-time process, but as far as revenue closing is concerned, I believe all of us, we try to select a date like by the 5th or the 4th or whatever and try to close it on that day, after which we close the month and then we move to the next month. So because this is a real-time integration, how is that going to impact the
Yeah.
process? Are we supposed to close on the last date of the month? Will that be now a concern?
So if you want to, let's say, close by 25th, then 5 days invoice should not be issued technically, from because invoicing will capture the real time date with the timestamp, even minutes and second. So that is one. Or second, like you have to change your process that whatever invoices I am issuing till month end, that will be considered under the MIS reporting.
Okay, perfect.
But if you will put in system 26th or 27th date and share in the network, it will be reported to OTA and the customer.
Noted. And
Yeah, but still there would be some differences. It will not always match your revenue with the VAT reporting because many times, let's say, advance are received. So for VAT, it is a taxable event, but for revenue, it will not be there. You might be following as per IFRS. You will not recognize full policy premium in the same month. So those differences will still remain, but it will be more transparent, and you have to keep a record of what is the reconciling item, why it is not matching. Yeah. No, it's up to you. You know, if it's up to you, if you want to recognize only close your books on 25th, then for 5 days invoice should not be issued. But that won't be possible. Let's say if somebody, customer walks in, I want to buy motor premium or vehicle premium, so you have to issue. So at present, how you deal with those scenario? Are you issuing invoice then in the next month? If a customer, let's say, comes on 28th, VAT it will go tax invoice itself. Then for financial purpose, as per your IFRS policies or accounting policies, you can recognize. Yeah. But invoice date will go 28.
Right. My second question was to Praveen, the part where you showed the attachments that can be also uploaded using the machine readable language. Just wanted to confirm, not the tax invoices or the credit notes, the attachments alone. Will it retain the original format of the document that was provided?
Formatting and all is possible, it's customizable. As we want, we can do it. It is fully flexible customization. That is possible.
Yeah. And just to add
Yeah.
here, in base 64, whatever the format you are giving, as is we are giving to the buyer. So there is no value addition we are doing. Because it is coming from your source system only.
Yeah.
I have a question specifically to the broker commissions. Since it's, I think this is the right forum we can ask. See, there are various methods brokers follow for issuing commission invoices, tax invoices. Some may issue consolidated invoice, some may issue single invoices per policy. So some may issue as per the insurance company's pay list. Some may issue based on the date of receiving the policy document. So there are various instances. So I think once the e-invoicing come, it will be easy for insurance companies to track these and maybe directly to upload to their systems to book the VAT, input VAT credit. But only question is that if it is a consolidated tax invoices, they may mention only one amount. Insurance company may have several policies attached to this commission. So if the broker is attaching an Excel or an Excel or appendix to this one with the list of policies, is it possible that through the poll itself we can receive through the ASP itself and we can directly upload it to our systems? Is it possible?
Praveen?
Yes.
For
it is
that,
possible.
yeah.
See,
Yeah, Praveen.
it's possible for them because see who is the corner one. So if corner one decided to send data to corner 4 in an Excel file where your all policy numbers, for example, insurance company is the corner one and they having the 100 particular policies and all the details are there and they wanted to send the data to the corner 4, which is the broker. So in that case, you can share the data in Excel sheet or PDF or any other format. That can be a part of the corner 4. So understand there are two parts. One, corner 4 is a third-party infrastructure managed by PEPFAR. And corner 5 is a government authority, that is FTA or OTA they are managing. So within the corner 4, we can share anything. This is the basic default functionality of corner 4 model, PEPFAR.
Yeah, and the subcategories which we saw, broker has to adopt that what I'll do if I'll issue one-to-one invoices for each policy, or in VAT law, one summary monthly tax invoice is also allowed. So one invoice per month can also be shared. So this process alignment has to be done in advance between insurance company and broker. It can be different. One broker will adopt, let's say, summary invoice, other might follow one-to-one. But at the end, nutshell is input can be claimed only based on the report available from the portal, irrespective of the model followed by the broker. We have still 15 minutes left. Please feel free to ask questions.
Because since you have covered claims, I have a question on claims.
Yeah.
So
no, please feel free to it is adding value to others also. Yeah.
So claims, you mentioned about claim excess. Currently it is an out of scope item.
Yeah.
Then insurance companies issue credit notes, debit notes for claim recoveries, TP recoveries, recoveries from the third party insurer insured. Various documents. In many cases, we just issue a debit note only. Some cases, we may not issue. Claim excess, we may not issue a debit note at all. Okay, in many cases. So currently, there are various processes. Debit notes and credit notes are not at all considered as a document for VAT reporting. Okay, so now you have mentioned that claim excess and claim and other debit notes will be covered under this one. How this will be impacting us, and because otherwise it will be major change for insurance companies that all these kind of documents, even the RI claim, RI share of claim, we may issue a slip or a debit note or credit note. So those kind of documents will be coming under the purview, then how it will be impacting the insurance company?
Yeah, so I'll cover claims first. That will get covered. As of now in VAT reporting, we don't have a column for reporting out of scope outward supplies. Once e-invoicing is there, they have planned to change the format also of the VAT return, wherein there will be out of scope field which will cover claim. And their plan is once all the phases are covered, even phase 4, they will auto-populate the VAT return, which companies have to just validate or make any correction, adjustment if possible. That is on the claim. Second, on the import of services, reinsurance premium. That is at present not covered under e-invoicing, but still as per law to claim input VAT on the reinsurance premium, though we report under box 2B and 6A, there should be a document from insurance company to claim the credit, which is even now and which will be more visible once the e-invoicing is implementation. So that covers your second part for reinsurer. And even for reinsurers or local insurers or brokers, at present maybe there is a one statement which covers premiums, claims, all the things together over there, commission, and the net amount is reported. Those has to be bifurcated between what is the commission, what is the claim amount, what is the premium amount. All three separate, which even we need now for reporting in the VAT return.
Let's say for provider
Yeah.
payments, how it is going to happen? Like, are we saying that providers are going to be registered in this PEPPOL?
Local, you mean to say local
Yeah, provider payments we are doing.
yeah,
right?
so they will also become corner for your customer in that case.
Yes.
So let's say provider is any valuer or a garage in terms of more hospitals. All those they will report, and even now we have the money portal.
Yes.
I think they submit claims
Yes.
through that. So that has to be now also evaluated that how that process will
Integrate
integrate
this.
with the e-invoicing.
Okay. So ideally, they are supposed to upload the invoices to.
It's always seller's responsibility. Unless insurance companies goes into self-billing agreement with the hospitals, which is possible, but I would say more complicated from process oriented, that rather than hospital issuing invoice for claims, insurance company self-generates,
Okay.
which both can be explored.
We also generate credit notes for that. For the payment, we are generating a
Yeah.
credit note.
Now instead of credit note, invoice will be required because we are the customer in that case. They are hospitals
AP
are the
invoice.
supplier.
AP
Yeah, AP
invoice.
invoice will be
So
required.
we need to upload the AP invoice to the system.
If we go under self-billing agreement.
Okay.
If not, we have to always wait for supplier to send.
So if they are not under that phase 1, so how it will be self-billing?
Maybe if they are not in the phase 1, you can continue the current process. Once they are onboarded in phase 2 or phase 3, automatically they will integrate. So for not only for providers, for any kind of vendors, let's say for your branch rents, landlord, he will not be covered, let's say in phase 1. So he will send you normal digital tax invoice. You can claim input VAT based on that. Yeah.
Telling that VAT return automatically will come from the tax system, that will be applicable from 2028 when
Once all
the-
phases are
all the
completed.
phases are
Yes.
done.
Yeah.
And what about that intercompany transactions with group like recharge
Out of scope.
entries? That is out
So
of.
there are two transactions. Within group, we have to see whether it's a VAT group or not. If it's not a VAT group, it is considered like an external transaction for the VAT. It will follow the same model. 5% VAT will be applicable on even on recharges. If it's a VAT group, same under VAT in OM 12, then it will be out of scope transaction. We have to use the tax code of out of scope and report.
Okay.
But still all the information will be there with OTA. They will know how many inter-VAT group recharges or transactions are done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay, one more question.
Yes.
Because since there is a question on provider.
Yeah.
See, currently there is a platform, regulatory platform, which is Damani. Okay.
Yeah.
Damani is the platform where hospitals and health services submit the invoice to insurance company. So now we are only using one source, okay, which is Damani. Okay. Now after this tax invoicing, e-invoicing implementation, will this impact this one, or the tax authority will consider these regulatory platforms as compliant tax platforms, or they will issue some guidelines to share this one, or that also need to be routed through ASPs? Those kind of queries we have as the
In my view, like this has to be seen. In my view, since the money is also a third government portal, they will update it with the requirement of e-invoicing. So it's a one source. There will be ASPs also working for them. So for insurance company, it might still remain the money, but it will have more requirements to fulfill both the requirement of e-invoicing as well as the claim process, which is as of now. But that has to be checked with how the FSA or CMA Damani portal, those who are governing, how they are planning to integrate with this. Because requirements will be still there. This will also be requirement from tax perspective, that is from operational. We have to see whether they can combine both and make it one, or we have to follow two processes.
Just to add here, Jay.
Yeah.
See, in Saudi Arabia also similar things are there. So generally hospitals who are the claim, they have their own portal where they have to upload and then make it clear. After that, the payments and everything will happening. But that process is a separate and e-invoicing is a separate. So in future, as you rightly said, maybe after 2 years, the money and FTA or OTA will have interconnected. Data between both will get exchanged. But right now, till today, you have to report to both, OTA also and Oman also.
Yeah, and based on my interaction, yeah, that we have to see how they are integrating because both are external part, this one. And based on my interaction with them, I understand it's not only about the money. They want to integrate with various other government bodies like Muscat municipalities for rental. So real estate companies, those who are issuing agreement, they'll be issuing invoice through invoicing. Also, they have to register the agreements with Muscat municipality or respective municipality. So even they will share the data with them to ensure all the agreements are duly registered, 3% municipal tax is paid. So the usage of data will not only be done from tax perspective, it will be done at a larger level for various other economic purposes also, not only limited to tax. It will be shared with labor, Ministry of Labor, ROP, municipalities and all other government authorities.
Jay, one more last
Yeah,
question.
yeah, Hitesh.
Has OTA published any list of any e-solution provider or something like how for FSS published like Damani is one system
Yeah.
we will follow. So OTA has come out with any such system as such?
So the email which they sent to top 100 companies, in that they had given the timeline. They had mentioned that by November, they will start the process with the ASPs, approved service provider. By Feb, they will issue the list of them. Companies have to appoint by May 26 from the list which will be approved. And by August, phase 1 guys will do and voluntary for other. So they will issue all the guidelines, data dictionary, rules and everything in coming month or two. That was the timeline they had prescribed in the email which they sent to top 100 companies.
What will be the estimated cost for the ASP providers like?
Praveen, for you.
No, so basically you are asking about the end user cost, right? So
Yeah.
cost to you, right?
Yeah, just to share.
Typically,
Yeah, Praveen, I'll just add. So basically there are three elements. First is, Praveen, correct me. First is one-time implementation cost, which is fixed based on the number of system and your volumes and the scenarios of the transactions. Because that will not be same company to company. Second, which is recurring, is based on the invoice volume, which is there. And third is the support fee. Correct, Praveen?
yeah, so basically, two parts are there. So one is the annual subscription cost, which is depends on your number of sales and purchase credit note transactions per year. Now this annual subscription cost covers annual support for you, technical and functional support, plus any changes from the OTA will be the part of the annual subscription fee. Second, as is Jay said, one-time implementation fee, it all depends upon the onboarding process of you on a OTA, creation of PayPal ID, training, integration assistance, all will become over this. These are the two major costs.
Yes, and also both models are there, on-site deployment and cloud. Cloud is always much better option considered to on-site. Because of cost also, cost is high in on-site. And second reason more than cost, which I believe is upgradation. Because OTA is going to release various updates in the invoicing, in the data dictionary, schema or the framework. If you will have on-site, you have to monitor a lot to ensure that all updates are done on a timely. If it's cloud, it will be much easier for the ASP to do updates real time. You won't even know that updates are done. So that is the another difference, and deployment is faster in cloud.
Yeah, we saw that the ERP is going to generate the invoice at first stage. From here, we are transferring this data to ASP. Of course, based on the nature of the case, it might go to corner 3, corner 4 or directly to corner 5. And then we already saw that the validations are happening, success or failure, these things are happening. And then ultimately it comes back to the ASP. And from the ASP, they are also generating an XML file. Now, my question is there a need for reverse integration? Before answering that, one more question added to this. He already mentioned that there will be a success which I have to reverse update into my system. So my question was primarily with respect to the document format, which we all also saw that they can design the format as per the requirement. My primary question here is that generally we send one customer line entry for the validation purpose. Am I right? It will not be multiple entries.
We
Because
can
in
send multiple. Let's say if you have 3 policies, so there will be 3 line, correct?
No,
This
in one policy,
Okay.
in one debit note, let's say
Okay.
there are 5 line entries. But we are expected to send only one line entry, customer line entry.
No.
Because that is the total value.
line item will also be required.
So we, no, yes, so that was my question. Should
Yeah.
we send the entire invoice with each line item, or should we send the one line entry with customer details with additional
No,
information?
line item would be required.
Okay.
And then you will be sending data. When you are sending data, it's not an invoice at that time.
Okay.
It's just a data which will be shared.
Okay.
Once validated, this data becomes invoice.
Okay.
That's how.
Okay.
So, and the success MLS, which we call it. So, let's say you are using Oracle. So, you have to create DFFs over there to record that UUID, which is a unique ID or an acknowledgement you can consider, and the message status, whether it's success or reject. Once those are captured, then you have flexibility to generate PDF from this XML. At that time, it becomes an invoice,
Okay,
which
so-
you can share.
So in simple terms, the entire data set what I am creating, I have to map to the
ASP.
format what they are giving.
Yes.
Pump the data directly to ASP.
Yes.
Then wait for the reverse validation.
Correct.
And once the validation is done, if it is successful,
Yeah.
I just need to mark in my ERP as success or failure. That's
Yes,
it.
yes.
The resultant invoice which is going to the customer, of course it is going to be electronic.
Yeah.
This will be sent by the ASP itself. So we
We-
don't have to generate anything.
Yes, functionality is there. As Praveen mentioned, if you have email IDs and let's say WhatsApp is now getting integrated lot,
Okay.
you will have option to send them auto invoices. And Praveen, correct me, they will also, they don't even need to manually, API will also give them reports of how many are the success. As he was showing on the dashboard, how many invoices are success, rejected or under process.
Okay. Now in case,
See, as he rightly said, sorry to
Yeah.
cut you. So as
Yeah.
you rightly said, you don't need to send any PDF copy to the end customer. See, the job of sending the data is a buyer ASP, that is a corner 3. Now corner 3 say it's accepted, it means it's a deal to be accepted. So responsibility of that corner 3 to deliver the XML or PDF or any other format is their responsibility. It is not your responsibility as a seller. So typically your complete process will change. You don't need to send anything to your buyer. All will be done by the buyer ASP only. Like for example, in your case, suppose you are also buyer and your vendor is sending all the invoices. So you are pressurizing your vendor. No, I need a PDF copy. Even though if we send a PDF copy, there will be no legal meaning for that PDF. Because your ASP has to deliver from his ASP and give you data in a PDF, XML, Excel, whatever preferred format, he has to give, not your buyer, vendor.
okay, so does this mean that if they want a duplicate copy of the invoice, they can directly request ASP and take it?
Yeah.
Correct?
So even their ASP once they will share, like Praveen showed, everyone will have a two profile as a vendor as well a customer. So I need not even ask you. As a customer, I can download
log in and
the
download,
directly download. Yeah.
And suppose you want to share, suppose your customer is pressurizing you, no, give me the data in a PDF copy, then don't send only the PDF copy. You attach that XML print AE format, which I reported to the OTA or FTA, and then you issue that PDF with the embedded XML. That will be the legal impact.
Okay, just one more added question to this.
Yeah.
We spoke about 3-4 phases. So we also discussed about multiple companies being in different phases. We also spoke about a hybrid model. So in this case, in the phase 1, where many of them are not a party to this, naturally they will have to do the manual process. So in this case again, how they will access the ASP to provide? They will not be a part of the ASP, right?
Yes, they can voluntarily do, but till the time, let's say they are waiting for their phase, they will continue as a normal. So you will generate the invoice, which is validated, then you have to share regular by email or by manual mode with them. And even let's say I am a garage, so I am not covered in phase 1. I am in phase 3, let's say last phase. Till the time I will issue you the regular tax invoice, which I am using paper or by digital copy. So as an insurance company, you will claim input first on the E-Invoicing, which are already in phase 1, your vendors or partners, which are not covered for them regular tax invoice process, which is there now. Both has to be.
So this also implies that the KYC procedure, email address, mobile numbers, everything has to be first done for all the customers.
Yes, yeah.
And the people who are not participating, or they will not have the ASP. So naturally, from our end, we will have to give this information to them, correct?
Yes,
So
yes,
for
yeah.
the request of receiving or giving the invoices, if there is a email request from them,
Yeah.
then we have to again go to our ASP and from there trigger it again.
Yes, so portal. ASP basically you will have a portal access. As Praveen mentioned, you can create various users. They will have access. You can download from that one and you can send it. And Praveen, also I understand there is an option in their ERP once the data is fed into, instead of going every time to the portal, maybe they have option to generate PDF from their ERP itself or no?
Yes. They can do it with a PDF with embedded XML, because
Yeah.
XML anyhow you are getting, right? So if you want, you can just store that XML UUID and that MLS in your ERP system, and then you can issue also.
So you can configure, like currently you would be having export option, same option export to PDF, it will show you the PDF.
Okay. Will you also give us APIs?
Yeah.
Will you also give us APIs for re-triggering these invoices from our ERP?
Yeah, so we have a 3 option. One, we will expose our APIs, RESTful API, asynchronized, and using post and get call you will do it. Second, like Oracle Fusion or many ERP, they have their standard APIs. So what we do, we read the APIs, first check whether all the data is available, and then we can consume your API also. That is the second option. Third option, suppose you want that I will post the data, but when the response comes, you use the webhook. So we have a webhook option also. So all the 3 options are there for an API. Suppose you want SFTP or FTP with a batch upload with a 15-minute scheduler, that also we can provide.
Okay. Jay, does the law talk about any time frequency of upload of the invoice?
So they will mention in the guidelines with the issue. In UAE they have given maximum 15 minutes. If it's not success message is not received till 15 minutes, means transaction is automatically cancelled. So we have to see same. I am expecting in Oman also it will be maximum 15 minutes, because that's standard of PayPal.
Yeah, this is the reverse update, what you're talking
From originating till reverse, 15
about.
minutes.
Oh, total is 15.
Total
So
15.
I cannot do a batch upload in 30 minutes or 1 hour or something like that I cannot do?
So this 15 minutes starts once we push the data. So in batch, if I am pushing only after 15 minutes, once the batch is pushed, then the timer starts.
Okay, so here for pushing,
Yeah.
we also discussed that some companies can do immediate basis, day
Yeah.
basis, monthly basis
Yes,
also.
yeah.
Is there any time limit for that is what I'm asking?
No, for that it's up to us when we want to generate invoice. So if I want to generate tomorrow, then it has to go through the portal. Once we press the submit button, generate push data, then this process will start.
Yeah.
So it's up to us. So let's say today a customer has came, he has agreed for the policy, but we want to start issue invoice tomorrow. So in that we have to start process in the ERP itself tomorrow, so that it
Okay.
connects.
Okay. So if I generated the ERP, then it is immediately I have to send.
Yes.
Okay. I can
Over
hold
there
it
you
for-
can lock it by that it will remain here, it will not send to corner 2.
Okay. No, can I generate
So that
in
will
the
be, if I
ERP?
say in a draft, you can consider draft status.
Okay.
Then it will not process, that timer will not start.
Okay.
Once you submit as a final, then the process will start.
Okay.
So in the batch, whatever you are collating, these will considered as a draft invoices. Once you push it, then it will have the actual date and timestamp when it's pushed to the ESP.
Okay. So the accounting date and time should be the one which we are pushing.
Yes, that will automatically have the timestamp
Okay.
in that, which cannot be altered.
Altered. Okay.
Like if I want to generate an invoice of 2 days before or a previous period, that will not be possible now.
So if I generate on first,
Yeah.
and if I push it on second,
Yeah,
the ideal accounting date will be second.
second. Invoice date will be second.
Second.
And then from accounting, you, as per your IFRS, you can defer the revenue to later period. But invoice date will be second.
Second. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay, one last question.
Yes, Santosh, please.
Okay, one on
We-
the cost.
We can extend also, like it's we are available. Any questions, feel free to ask, please.
It is on the cost. For receiving invoices also, do the ASPs charges or only for issuing?
Praveen, for you.
Yeah, see, generally what happened, it's a cloud-based solution because as you know that it's a 4-corner, 5-corner model. So typically what happened, when the sending and receiving, it's a both process driven is there. So it comes under a 4-corner. So we basically consider both the volumes, sales and purchase. Both the volumes we consider for processing the data.
So let's say if you are going for a self-billing, so in that case AP will be counted as a transaction count.
No, for receiving, like we are receiving invoices from garages. For example, 100,000 invoices we are issuing in a year, and 50,000 we are receiving, okay, from the various parties. So this total bill amount they are charging for the 150,000, or it will be only for the 100,000 which we are invoiced, or it is a different rate for 100,000 and another rate for 50,000 received invoices.
Okay. Okay. So just to answer here, see, right now in UAE it's a B2B invoices, no more B2C. In OTA, I think they are talking about B2B and B2C. Now let's understand the other countries how they have implemented B2C. Now if I talk about the Singapore and Malaysia, B2B is a real-time posting the data to the government portal. That is in FTA and OTA. In Singapore and Malaysia, B2C, they say every month you have to consolidate the B2C invoices and make as a one invoice that you have to report to the government. So in that case, all your garage invoices, which is a part of the B2B or B2C or B2C, will be consolidated form. It will be.
Praveen, his question is from B2B angle. Garage is their vendor who will do the repairs of car and they will send. So let's say they have a total AP invoices of 50,000 in a year. May it be rent,
Yes.
electricity, garage, XYZ, and they have 100,000 premium invoices, which is their output. So his question is whether pricing is there for receiving AP or not. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's a both sales and purchase. Both will be considered as a total year transactions volume.
Yeah, because on the AP also, Santosh, you will be using the functionality. It will be saved in cloud. You can download PDF reports. So these like system capabilities are used for even AP because you are not directly interacting with your supplier. Yeah.
And we have to do the archival also. See, right now, today you
Yeah.
are doing the archival is like a storing of the data.
Yeah, he's
But
saying
in
you.
future,
Okay. Yeah. So Praveen, if you can guide on the general pricing for the ASP which happens for the invoicing, correct, Mr. Ahmed? Yeah. So if you can guide them on a, because it depends case to case, invoice to invoice, Praveen can guide you on a range which is there generally.
so they want to understand what is the slab wise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. See, generally, if you talk about the SaaS product pricing, if your volume is less, for example, if I talk about 5,000, 6,000 transactions per year, or less than a 10,000 transactions per year, your per document cost will come as a $1, $1.2, $1.5, something like will come. But when your volume will get increased, it will go to the cent. So it may be a 9 cent, 5 cent, 2 cent. Like this, your volume increase, your document per document cost will go down. This is
Yeah.
how the pricing model works.
Yeah. Every. So it will be
It is
document.
counted, no? One single.
Yes. So it will be document as a count, whether it is an invoice, credit note, self billing, irrespective of the.
So one
Yes,
more
yeah.
addition here
Yeah.
from the IT perspective, they will understand. See, I called word document, not API. So what do you mean by API and document? See, generally when somebody say you have a 10,000 API count, it means one I post the data. Okay, that is one API. If there is an error, once again I am reposting the document. That is called two count. Like that, maybe one document to make the success, you will use 2 or 3 API calls. So that is the way they count. We say document means until and unless that document is not reported to the corner 5 and corner 3, that is a one document for us. Okay, that is the difference. API call and document.
Yeah, and even in Oman, as per VAT law, 10 years records are to be archived, and for real estate 15. So even cloud hosting, there are various options which are available. It's not a general fixed price available. Depending upon modification, customizations which are required by the company, pricing varies accordingly.
And one more part here, as I said, archival means what? The definition of archival in your case, data is there in my accounting software or ERP. No. See, archival means if auditor comes to you and they say 2 years back, month of April, I need these 10 invoices. You need to immediately find out. So that is what we have giving the archival. So our archival is nothing but that part. Second, suppose there is an audit comes of 2 years back and they say, I want to process your data of 2 years back with this particular month. So taxiller can process the data with the old rule because today the rule is changed, right? So every year maybe some changes are there. So that we are also maintaining. So that is how we archive and reprocess the data.
Yeah.
Are we saying that in Oracle Fusion we have this feature because there was a statement that Oracle Fusion contains some APIs? Is it?
Yeah, so
true?
Oracle Fusion will, yeah, Praveen, after you.
Yeah, so Oracle Fusion expose their API. So they have a standard API for each document, like a tax invoice, credit note, debit note.
Yes.
So if your particularly Oracle Fusion give us the API, we can basically use your API to pull and post the data.
How you will communicate, like you have to share the data
Yes.
with ASP from 1 to 2. So for that, Oracle have their APIs which will help you to share data easily rather than finding a new altogether.
Because we are
way.
using Oracle Fusion.
Yeah.
So then it should be.
Yeah,
easy.
and the Texila software is compatible with all the softwares, may it be SAP, Oracle, Navision, or any also software which is there proprietary. It solution is there for all the ERP basically. And it's not only about this process. When I mention its entire business reform, you have to consider various other things also. PDPL law is going to coming in Oman next year. So who is responsible for protecting the personal data? Cyber security, all those reasons, confidentiality has to, that's why even legal team is important to for their involvement to ensure that when the contract is made with ASP, proper RACI matrix is made, who is responsible for what and who is accountable and who is to be consulted in that case. So that's why it's a big exercise, and as of now from text perspective English is fine, but it doesn't mean that Arabic is not required from other regulatory perspective. You have to check whether from any local law perspective or from let's say the money side or FSA side is Arabic mandatory, then you have to even consider that part. So it's not only tax law will speak, e-invoicing guidelines will speak from their part. We have to also see that we are, yeah, comply with other. Yeah. Correct. In Oman. Yes, yes. Correct, correct. But what I understand from them is now since it will grow at a requirement will come at a larger level after invoicing, many international players like AWS and they are also setting up in Oman. At present we have limited option like OCI, Oman Data Park, but in future more options will be there and then maybe cost comes down, but that is altogether different, not from the ASP perspective, that's the regulatory framework that cost is higher because of the less competition. Yes, yes, I know, I know, I know. So like in UAE there are many, there Azure, AWS, Oracle, all depends upon competition. So that cost also you have to factor case to case basis. Praveen, you have to add anything on cloud side?
No. So cloud side now, I think all the GCC are there as a main attraction for them for data storage because they are coming as a e-invoicing. So major will come, and then definitely because of more competition, your storage and processing cost will also get reduced.
So I'd like to thank Mr. Ayman for giving us this opportunity. Really appreciate your support. And I'll just close the session with two things. Start now and don't wait for the further guidance. More the time, you will have pragmatic implementation, well thought and well structured. And any kind of support you need, we have all the support which will help you to reach till go live and even after go live date for the successful implementation. Thank you all for coming. Just two things, I will share the photo link with you. You can take, and even if you want to take your one-to-one professional headshot, we have expert photographers. You can have it. Now we will proceed for prayer and we have a delightful lunch. And a small gift for you. Please take it before you leave. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you.